Goldman and Blair Evans representing Australia, or will it be the likes of Melissa Gorman or even the youngsters like Jess Ashwood or Bonnie McDonald?
You are going to see a very competitive 800 freestyle, no matter whose name ends up being first or second and getting the selection on the team. There is a star-studded field here. Jessica Ashwood has already qualified in the 1500 freestyle, along with Melissa Gorman, who's in 6. Katie Goldman, Blair Evans, as Anthony said. It's going to be a very fast final. Well, Rebecca Adlington was very, very good at the British trials that took place quite a few weeks ago now. 4:02 in the 400 freestyle and 8:20 in the 800.
Well, the interesting thing is the variety of times we've seen over the last few years. As Jess Ashwood, as we said, is in great form. She'd be delighted to be already on the team. The variety of times that have won this championship over the last 3 years. Katie Goldman won it last year in 8:22.
It was quick, wasn't it?
And here she is. Can she repeat the dose? 8:22 would not only probably win her the race, but would also get her well and truly under the selection qualifying time of 8:26. So Katie, whose form's been a little bit up and down since then, will be really gunning for it, as will Blair Evans, who's on the relay team, but not yet an individual winner. She's finished 4th and 5th in the 400 and the 200.
Just a great cheer squad from Western Australia at the pool. But just back on Katie, if she can get back to that bronze medal form of the Pan Pacs, where she swam quite fast as well, she can get there. But Melissa Gorman won gold at the Pan Pacs in the 1500, so she'll need to crank it up a little bit earlier with this shorter race over 800. So this is an Olympic event, and the 1500 is not. The men swim the 1500, the women swim the 800 at the Olympics, but at the World Championships, the men and women swim both 800 and 1500.
So Rebecca Adlington, as we see in the past, though, has swum 8:20.23 so far this year, to put it in perspective. So the world record time was with the suits, although not the full super suits. It was at the Beijing Olympics, of course, when she swum 8:14.10 to set the world record. The Australian record is 8:22.81. It was so close, Katie Goldman, 0.02 of a second to breaking that last year. She gets another opportunity here, 12 months on. Can she repeat the dose or even go quicker? We're about to find out. Katie Goldman swimming in lane 4, Blair Evans in lane 5, and they're the two that make the most progress early days.
Yeah, she's got into quite a good stroke rate. Blair Evans, that's closest to you there, top of the screen, really taking it quite easy at the moment. We took a 4-stroke breath then, but she's breathing every second majority, so just really finding her stroke rate. But the great distance coaches talk about having some time in the bank. So dive start, little bit of a sprint in the first 100 that doesn't cost you too much energy-wise, will help you at the other end when you start to fatigue in terms of the overall time. And Katie is stroking beautifully, sitting nice and high on the water, only breathing off to the left-hand side, not bilaterally, and limiting the breath, breathing every 4 strokes at the moment.
So Katie Goldman's going to spin around first, and then Blair Evans. Bonnie McDonald made a good start in lane 7, but she's dropped back. Look at Goldman's time, 59.33 at the turn through the first 100.
Great, under a minute. Fantastic first 100 metres by Katie Goldman, and she can hold on to this kind of intensity. She just needs to focus, make sure she follows the instructions of her coach, Dennis Cottrell, which I'm sure was get out fast, but then really start to get into that stroke rate and build it up. Never feeling like you're slowing down with your momentum. Blair Evans, though, is keeping contact with Katie Goldman's feet, so making sure she's not too far away.
And let's have a look at the time, 1:30.8, and as you said, Blair just a second behind her, and then Mel Gorman, of course, who certainly won't slow down. The back end of her race will be strong, we know that. She's in 3rd place, and they can urge each other on here in some way as this race continues, but certainly Katie Goldman looks very, very smooth as she heads down to the 200-metre mark. It's Goldman first, Evans second, and Gorman third in lane 6.
So very nicely into what is a comfortable pace for her per 100. As we look at this 100 now, 2:02.6. So she's at around about 1:03.3. So really settled in quite nicely to that 1:03. Hopefully she can bring that down a bit. Sitting at 1:02 would be much better. But after that initial spurt in the first 100, that's what she needed to do, just settle back into her technique and settle back into her pacing.
What sort of time do you think we're going to see here then from what we've seen so far?
I'll be better off to tell you at the 400-metre mark, but I'm hoping that she will be able to go sub 8:25. That would be a great swim. That would leapfrog her in the top 5 of the world. Hopefully she can do that. I'll be able to tell you closer to the 400-metre mark, though.
Selection is 8:26.96, the qualifying time for Shanghai. So Katie Goldman continues to lead the way here in the women's 800 metres freestyle final. We're moving up towards the 300-metre mark. Blair Evans of WA in second place. Blair certainly not letting her get away. She's within reach, and we know it gets down to a scrap at the end, and Blair might right be with her at the reckoning. Melissa Gorman also is in outright third place. So they're the three. It's pretty much been the way it has been since the start of the race. Goldman, Evans and Gorman.
So that was a 1:03.8. So she's settling into a really nice pace. And underwater, the great thing about seeing girls race 800 freestyle these days is that they don't do that 2 beats distance kick. They're kicking continuously the whole way. I'd say it's a 6-beat kick, but it's a 6-beat kick every now and again with a little pause for Katie Goldman. But Blair Evans doing the same thing. The feet are rolling constantly, so really maintaining the intensity.
Okay, you said you would know more at the 400. We're heading towards that position now. What sort of time are you looking for here?
She's at 3:38 at the 350-metre mark, so she's still at about 104 per 100. So let me wait to the 400-metre mark. It's easier for me to calculate. You hate me when I do that, don't you?
No, you're spot on there, but it's Goldman first, and she's slightly increased her margin over Evans, only slightly. Gorman is hitting at the toes of Evans, so let's see the time at the halfway stage.
I still think sub 8:25.
Okay,
so she's gone 4:10. If she can try to bring it back in a 4:15, but look at her. I think her instructions from Dennis was get to the 400-metre mark and then really start to pick it up. She noticeably picked it up then.
It's not that I don't trust your expert opinion, but I'm going to go for some more. Howie?
I don't think you're referring to me either, Anthony. I'm being joined by the Australian youth team coach, Vince Raleigh. He's good with numbers because he's throwing all sorts at me. And firstly, Vince, you think this is turning into a pretty good swim?
This looks like it's going to be a good swim. Turning in 4:10, you would hope she would get around the 8:20 mark or 8:21, and that would be under our national record, which was done in a laser back at the Beijing Olympics, which was great racing. This is good for us, this race. We've got 5 young females under the age of 18 swimming in this race. So our depth in the distance, which used to be our strength, is now re-emerging. We had, I think, 10 girls going to 4:10 for the 400 free. I don't think there'll be us in America would be the only ones who could do that, and I don't think we've been at that level for a number of years now.
It's exciting times. We've seen some exciting juniors already competing this weekend in the senior Aussie titles, but you've got a lot of swimmers that are coming through very, very nicely.
Well, I mean, the secret to have a good senior team is to keep the upward pressure from the youth and the coaches that are bringing them through, to try to give them some input and help to accelerate that upward pressure, and then we end up with a senior team that is on their game. And I think when we have 2 men, 19-year-old, win the 100 free, it's great for us going into next year, for the relay in particular. But these young girls coming up, they can make a big move in 12 to 15 months. So,
indeed, if we're in footy talk and we were talking recruiting, and it's tough, but is there one name that you could give me, Vince, that you'd say keep an eye out for this young athlete?
Well, there's a young girl, I mean, in this race, firstly. There's a girl, Remy Fairweather from Koala Waters up on the Sunshine Coach. Peter Gartrell's doing a great job with her. She just missed the final of the 400 free.
She's in lane 2. She's only 14 years of age.
14. I just think that you could see quite big improvements within the next 12, 15 months. I mean, that's what happens. You know, the world record holders in the 800 free, this event, had traditionally been girls around 15, like Tracy Wickham did at 15, Janet Evans at 15. So it's not unusual to see the people get up to the highest standards at quite a young age.
Beautiful, Vince. We appreciate your time and your insights, and enjoy the rest of the race.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Howie. Thanks, Vince. Katie Goldman continues to lead, but there's another race going on, and that's for second and third. And Goldman not really being able to stretch her margin at all, Nicole.
No.
Gorman's moved up into second place over Evans, as we've been watching while we were chatting to Vince there. That's a bit of a struggle between the two. So Gorman, I'm not sure if she's going to threaten Katie Goldman here. It looks as if Goldman will go on and win, but how's the clock looking?
Yeah, Goldman has dropped off that pace from the 4:10. Vince was hoping around the 8:21, but she has dropped off. 7:24 at the 700-metre mark. I think she'll be around the 8:26, which still will be a very good time if she can get under 8:26 826.96. She's going to have to really pick it up, though. And Mel Gorman, she's chasing.
Yeah, she is chasing. 826.96 is the selection. So if it's under 827, you can be pretty sure that it will be under the selection time required. But Katie Goldman, who came out last year and blew everyone away and surprised everyone with an 822.83, it looks as if she's going to be able to repeat the dose in terms of winning another national title here.
She's really got to pick it up. She's got to come back in a 30 seconds to make this selection criteria. So the big kick's got to come up. The stroke rating, she would be hurting like anything right now, but she's really got to limit the breath and just get the head down and do it.
Well, Melissa Gorman senses a little bit of an opportunity. She's trying to hunt her down here. It's a little bit of a race. She's maybe left it a bit late. Katie Goldman looks like she's headed for another national title. Unfortunately, the time is not going to be what she would have liked. It's outside selection, but Katie Goldman wins the women's 800 metres freestyle. She looks at the clock and maybe will be a fraction disappointed. Gorman second and Evans third, and the time 8:28.49.
Well, as predicted, there was the shrug.
Yeah,
she's not happy with
turn
that.
up the nose a bit.
Well, it's a shame because she is a great 800 freestyler. She just needs more experience. She's only a young girl and really just out of the junior ranks that Vince Riley was just talking about. You know, she made her debut year last year on the Australian team. She just needs more opportunity to race internationally. So hopefully there's another one. Hopefully Lee Nugent will take. Katie Goldman wins at 8:28.49. Melissa Gorman 8:30.85. And Blair Evans in third. Jessica Ashwood's already on the team. She's in fourth. And Bonnie, Remy, Laura and Belinda were the rest of the placings. Wow.